Is this banlist season? I don't know, because Konami did not provide an estimate time for the next list, so I am just guessing here. But good God, like, we need a list now, because this format, oh, it's just awful. When Konami made Raigeki Unlimited, we knew this format was in trouble. The reason this format is terrible is because it practically eliminates the whole point of a side deck and just tells you to fuck the side deck. The whole thing has to be packaged all together. Staples like Droplet, Feather Duster, Cosmic Cyclone, Raigeki, all three of them, Kaijus, and just about every hand trap out there is now required to be main decked if you are to stand a chance against the endless floodgates out there, whether they be back row or monster effects. This will result with everyone's deck looking half the same. When Konami made their last ban list, they messed up and everyone knew it.
You maniacs! You blew it up! Damn you! Damn you all to hell!
So here is my wish list on what I would like to get banned and limited. And remember, I said wish list. May not be realistic, but a girl can dream about it. Some of the cards on this list is also suggested by my husband because he plays the online scene more than I do. For banned, I'm going to start off with Artifact Scythe. This is a long time coming, and I don't know why Konami is letting this card go for so long. Locking out the extra deck can be done in numerous ways, but this is one of the most consistent. If Scythe doesn't go, then at least Artifact Dagda should be hit, because that will at least give said consistency a blow and seem to be a fair trade-off.
I'll trade you this delicious doorstop for your crummy old Danish.
Done and done. Go!
Next, I have Predaplant Verte Anaconda. Oh boy. Being able to fusion summon from the deck is getting quite ridiculous now, whether it be sending cards from the deck to the grave or shuffle back to the deck. Having the fusion with monsters in your hand and field was fair enough to begin with, and was able to slow down the process of turboing out your strongest boss monsters. DPE and Dragoon are still crazy cards, but if Anaconda gets hit, these fusion boss monsters will not be as intimidating, and it will take more than just one turn to get out. Next is a choice between Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon or Kristan Needle Fiber. I've talked about the Phantom Beast before, primarily for the same reason I did with Linkross. They are free token generators, so what else we need to say about that? Needle Fiber has the same kind of problem, a Link monster that can get a free tuner from the deck and has a quick effect to summon a tuner synchro monster during your opponent's turn. Sword Soul is a crazy deck and Needle Fiber just enables it. I'm not saying that both of these cards should go, I'm just saying that, it's a one or other type of situation. And last I have Stormwind Barrier Statue of the Wind, one of my husband's favorite cards. While there are ways around this via Droplet, Dark Ruler No More, or one of 3 copies of Raigeki we might have in our deck, Barrier Statue of the Wind is still an easy floodgate that can be turboed out via the birds. A deck that is not only unfun to go up against, but made worse when the combo ends on the statue. I can get by with summoning effect monsters in defense position to keep the effects going, but when you can't summon at all, yeah, it doesn't sound very fair, does it? Next, I'm going to tackle the limited list, and buckle up because this is a long one. I'll try to keep the reasoning for each card brief, but let's be honest, if you play the TCG, you don't really need me to explain why each card needs to be limited to 1. So first for limited, I have Rite of Aramasir and Water Enchantress of the Temple. Both of these cards need to be set to 1 because Adventure Token Engine! Oh yes, it can be used in different decks, but they all have the same result. Unfair outcomes, and they are prohibitively expensive for anyone trying to compete in the top tier. Next I'll go to Floodgates, because trust me, there's a bunch. Skill Drain. The only deck this card doesn't really touch that much is Blue Eyes, because most of the cards activate in the hand or grave. It's only really a problem if you go into the extra deck, so why Konami thought this was okay to let this card loose is beyond me. Back to 1. There can only be 1, because a lot of decks use cards of the same type. This card's a big problem at 3, so yeah, only be 1? only be at 1. Anti-spell fragrance. We already need our entire back row hate added to our main deck, so anti-spell just makes that portion of the deck half useless now. Harpy's Featherstorm. This applies more to the bird decks, kinda in the same way the barrier statue of the wind does. The statue stops special summoning. Featherstorm just turns off the monsters your opponent managed to get out. Mystic Mine. Because it's fucking Mystic Mine! Yes, I still love this card, but setting it to 1 is fair because it's still easy to turbo out. Okay, we're done with the Floodgates. Floater Freeze and Robina. These birds are just crazy, spending the better part of 10 minutes waiting for a board that is extremely difficult to break, especially when the barrier statue is involved. If the statue does not get banned, this card has to be nerfed to 1. I'm sorry, these birds, they just swarm and conquer you. It's not fun.
I need the biggest seed bell you have. No, that's too big.
Fusion Destiny. This is a trade-off kind of card. If Anaconda doesn't get banned, then Fusion Destiny needs to be set to 1. DPR Turbo is a very strong strategy that needs to be slowed down. Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine. Thanks to skill drain being at 3, Eldritch has become way too strong, so Elixir to 1 may bounce it out a little. Magical Meltdown. Yeah, I'm not letting this go. Sword Soul of Moye or Sword Soul of Emergence. Sword Soul in general, they're just crazy right now, and I'm not in favor of an outright ban, but I think hitting one of these cards to 1 should drive down the consistency a bit. And to remove from the ban list and set to 1, Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Inferno. Yeah, I think it's okay to let this card go. It's basically the same thing as Tempest, except it's a fire attribute. Tempest did well without breaking the game, so come on, Blaster, we're ready. So that's all I have for limited, and I don't have anything for semi-limited because we know that section is bupkis anyway, so let's move to unlimited. And to be honest, I don't have many cards for this category. I have A Hero Lives and Salamangre's Circle. A Hero Lives has a heavy cost to activate for a deck that doesn't see a ton of play these days, so I think that should be fine. And Salamangre barely breaks the top tier list anymore, so Circle to 3 should be okay. So that is my wish list. Was it reasonable or did I go too far? Regardless, something needs to be done with this format. If Konami doesn't take the teeth out of it, I guess the next format is going to look a lot like this.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
I'm giving you the beating of your life.
This is your Dragon Lady saying remember to be a good sport, play the game, not the fame.